Hello, look around you. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace, driven by innovation and bold ideas. Today, we are going to talk about how your innovative ideas can not only change the world, but also open the door to a new life in one of the most welcoming and dynamic countries on earth, Canada. Welcome to the future of entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Canada Startup Visa program. Startup Visa program of Canada is possibly the most popular program among foreign entrepreneurs who want to get permanent residency in this country. In this video, we are unlocking Canada's Startup Visa program, your blueprint for permanent residency through groundbreaking innovation. Let's dive in.
Just a quick reminder before we start. Please note that whatever you hear in these live sessions or any content you see on social media by Sabirov's law firm is general information only and not legal advice. While we may use certain real-life scenarios or legal cases for learning purposes, it is important to remember that this does not constitute a legal opinion. For personalized legal advice, please consult with your lawyer or hire a Canadian immigration lawyer. Now, let's get back to our show.
Canada's Startup Visa program. We will be talking about realistic timelines, what's going on the ground, and how you can improve your chances of success in your Startup Visa program application. Startup Visa program of Canada has been dubbed as the secret weapon of Canada because it tries to bring the best and brightest innovators with great ideas, scalable ideas to Canada. But how does it succeed, and what are the requirements of that program? In a nutshell, the Startup Visa program is a business immigration program that allows foreign entrepreneurs to obtain permanent residence in Canada by starting innovative businesses, and I would add, running it genuinely. If you run it genuinely, you can come to Canada on a permanent residence basis, together with your family. So who can apply? Of course, foreign entrepreneurs, non-Canadian entrepreneurs from different countries of the world. All the citizenships are accepted. Individuals or groups of 5 people. So one startup on the Startup Visa program can accommodate up to 5 founders, not more than 5 founders. You can have more than 5 founders, but not all of them may get permanent residency in Canada. This is the program for those who have innovative, scalable business ideas. Applicants with relevant experience. When you try to get the approval and support from designated organizations, your experience matters a lot. You need to have the capacity to run the startup business in Canada. Entrepreneurs will be running the business outside of Quebec because Quebec is a province that has its own entrepreneurship program. They have their own equivalent to the Startup Visa. So anywhere outside of Quebec, you can run this program if you want to bring your startup to those provinces. Key benefits in a nutshell: permanent residence for entrepreneur and his or her family, because up to 5 founding families may immigrate to Canada. Spouses are eligible for open work permit, spouses of the founders who apply. Children of those founders are eligible for study permits if they want to go to school. Access to healthcare and education, free education for children and free healthcare for the founder's family is also one of the benefits of this program. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video or other videos that you find useful, because we share a lot of success stories, a lot of insights about Canada's business immigration landscape. We keep you informed. So @Sabirov's law firm is the handle that you want to follow on social media, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I thank you for your support. So the application journey in a nutshell, but I will go into each step individually. First step that you will be doing in this process before even applying to Startup Visa program, your first step starts with developing and validating your business concept. Validate with market research about Canada market research, because your home market of your startup is Canada, so don't forget that. Validate with market research, prototypes, or pilot testing before even you approach designated organizations that are under this program. You need to have some validity. You should have given some life into your startup concept. It is not only on paper. You have to be competitive. You need to go beyond minimums, okay? you need to focus on solving genuine Canadian market problems. We have seen many applicants trying to solve global problems. Yes, your business must be scalable. You need to solve Canadian problems and then try to solve more regional, global, or international problems. So number 2, select and apply to designated organizations. There are 3 types of designated organizations, DOs, under Startup Visa program. These are business incubators and accelerators, angel investor groups, and venture capital firms that have been designated or delegated by the government to choose the best startup concepts to bring them to Canada. Submit your proposal to at least 3 designated organizations. Don't limit yourself to only one, focusing on those that match your business stage. So maybe you are still a concept on a paper. Your startup is on a paper. Then most probably incubators are the best place for you because angel investors would like to have some traction before investing into your startup or supporting your startup. So depending on your business's stage, whether you're purely concept or you have some traction in the market, you've come up with your MVP, you have some sales and proof of concept, depending on your stage, perhaps you are at an advanced level, post-seed level, and then you may approach venture capital firms. Number 3, pitch, due diligence, and secure support. You will be able to pitch if you are invited to pitch your concept. The designated organization will do the due diligence on your concept and decide. And if they decide to support you, then you will be given the letter of support or certificate of support. So basically presenting your concept, undergoing comprehensive review. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 months for that review to materialize. Imagine thousands of applicants like you are sending their pitches and in concepts to those designated organizations. They have to sift through many potential candidates and then select the ones that are interesting to them. And finally, you secure a letter of support. You are application ready after getting the support. Number 4, you submit your permanent residence application, okay? And I will explain why permanent residence is coming first. Basically, permanent residence application is the first door you need to open. Collect your required documents, including language tests. You need to have certain level of language, French or English. And settlement funds, you need to prove that besides the funds that are needed to run the business, you need your own personal settlement fund. So depending on the size of your family, this will change. I will show that chart in a moment. And submit your application through IRCC, Immigration Canada's portal online. Once you do that and your PR application has been received, because PR application process takes at the moment around 40 months to process your PR application, at step 5, you will apply for open work permit. Canadian government has recognized that because of the prolonged processing time for permanent residence, the startup founders cannot wait for PR to come before they come to Canada and start working on their startups. Essential team members can apply for a 3-year work permit to begin building the startup business in Canada. And that's catch-22 situation, because on the one hand, from the immigrant entrepreneur perspective, they want to be able to settle down in Canada because they want to be permanent and then run the business. But from the Canadian government side, they need to see your genuine intention to run the business, your efforts, your honest efforts, and then they award permanent residency to you. So it's kind of catch-22, but at the same time, Canada wants to see some progress before awarding you the PR, because once they award PR to your team, startup team, they cannot take it away, right? Regardless of the fact whether your startup is failure or a success. So that's why they give the option to get a 3-year open work permit. Open work permit, they also recognize, government recognizes that in the first years, in the first, let's say 5-7 years of the startup, it's only cash burn, right? It's not cash earn. You are not earning money that much in the first 5 to 7 years. That's why open permit allows entrepreneurs to make a living from somewhere else other than their startup, innovative. And plus, bringing very innovative individuals and technology people to Canada, it's also a great benefit for the Canadian society. Finally, when you get your open work permit, then at stage 5, you arrive and build your business. Once you come to Canada with an open work permit, you are expected to run the business, to build the business that you wanted to build in the first place, while keeping IRCC updated on progress every 6 months to demonstrate that you are committed to your business venture. So don't forget that there are a lot of cases coming from federal court where people are passively waiting for their PR before doing anything on their startup. This is not what government expects from you. Now, as I promised at the beginning of my presentation, I will be also talking about the realities of Startup Visa program. Why realities matter to manage your expectations, okay? Yes, it's a great program. Yes, it's a very popular program, and we are discussing only Startup Visa in this video. However, I want to give you a realistic picture without promising golden mountains and easy pathway. So here are some realities about Startup Visa program. According to the data that we have from October 2024, there were 36,500 persons in the pipeline of Startup Visa program, in the inventory. That means there are around 11,000 Startup Visa applications. Now, why that matters? Because the admission targets by the government was 5,000 for 2024. Hopefully, they used all those seats for Startup Visa programs. Then they reduced the target numbers for 25, which is 2,000 applications. We are almost in the middle of 2025. I hope the government will release some data very soon on how many Startup Visa applications they have processed already in 2025. Then government is planning further reduction for 26 and 27, 1,000 applications for each 27 and 26, which means approximately 6 years worth of inventory is already present, provided that we don't get any new applications. But I'm sure there are a lot of new applications, and the government is trying to tailor the SUV program so that they can capture the best and brightest and the most genuine entrepreneurs to come to Canada. Here's the data that we got from that has been released by the government. Here's October 2024 data. As you can see, 36,000 Startup Visa program only. And now you can see at that time, this is old data from 24, but overall the conclusion is that 6 years worth of inventory at the current target rate is already in the pipeline. So what can you do in light of these inventory numbers that we just discussed? First, you need to remember that permanent residence processing on the startup is around 40 months. For regular stream application, so there are 2 types of application right now, regular stream and priority stream. Priority stream is estimated to be processed around 24 months for applications meeting priority criteria. That means backed by Canadian angel groups or Canadian VC groups that are within Canada's tech network. There are limited number of designated organizations that can allow you, if they select you, to be processed as a priority. In that case, your permanent residence application may be processed within 24 months, which is great compared to 40 months. But unfortunately, we don't have official data about how fast the priority is going, but in our estimate and in our practice, it is around 24 months. As you know, angel investor groups should invest $75,000 and venture capital firms should invest $200,000 to support your startup idea. Success rates. Let's talk about success rate. If you have such a large inventory and such a long waiting time, what are the success rates so far with respect to Startup Visa program? The Canada's Startup Visa program demonstrated strong and improving approval rates year over year with a clear upward trajectory over the past 3 years. We only have data for 3 years. See approval rate from in 2022 from 79% all the way to 86% in 2024. This improving trend suggests that both applicants and designated organizations have become more sophisticated in preparing applications that meet IRCC's requirements. At the very beginning, there were a lot of excited applicants. They were getting into incubation programs. Angel Investors Group were supporting them, and there was a massive number of applications. But now government is sifting through them, and both parties, the applicants and their supporting organization, have become more experienced in preparing great applications. Okay, now realistic startup visa costs. Unfortunately, for the time being and many years prior to current situation, many industry players have been advertising the startup visa program as investment-free program, which is not. It's not investment-free. It's not cost-free. It has a cost associated with it. Let's see. It's in stages. I'm giving an example, but these are realistic numbers. Stage 1, pre-letter of support. So before you even get to letter of support, you have to spend money on business concept development. Yes, you have great idea, but you need to develop it, present it in a great way. Validation, you need to run it a little bit. You need to test it, pivot it, change it, modify it, and so on. Pitch training, you need to spend money on how to pitch to Canadian designated organizations. Business plan refinement, there's a cost associated. Designated organization selection and application assistance. So overall, pre-letter of support stage 1 will cost you around $15,000 to $25,000. That's the cost on you. Number 2, stage 2, designated organization fees. Yes, there are fees, incubation program fees, and other fees that designated organizations have in their terms and conditions. Due diligence costs and support services varies by organization and business strength. If your business concept is so attractive, then the designated organizations will cover all the costs, right? And plus invest into you. They don't want to lose the money. It's not only an exercise of immigration, it's an exercise of entrepreneurship. If they see great idea, they don't want to lose it. So due diligence and support services will cost you around additional from $10,000 to $70,000 per founder. Due diligence includes your background check and everything, your skills and whatnot. It may cost you from $10,000 to $70,000 per founder of the startup. Stage 3, immigration application. That's where lawyers come in, right? Legal fees between $30,000 to $50,000 per family of the founder, depending on your family size and whatnot. There are government fees. Main applicants will pay $2,385, spouses $1,500, and then children $260 each. So all these fees will be on stage 3, immigration application preparation. So estimate $30,000 per family that will be immigrating to Canada. Stage 4, living costs in Canada. Yes, you have to live on something, right? The startup visa founders shouldn't expect that the designated organizations will be covering everything, or the money that they invested can be used for your personal needs. No, you need to cover your own living costs, and minimum required funds for 1 year, 52 weeks, required by the government. Here are the examples. 1-person family, $29,000, 2-person family, $36,000, 3-person, $44,000. So it varies from family to family, depending on the size of the family, but you can estimate these stage 4 costs to be $30,000 to $78,000, depending on the family size, as shown here. Final stage, stage 5, business investment. seed capital to cover operational costs of your startup in Canada. Realize that you need to also put some skin into the game. It's not only the investors' money, founders need to put some money to run the operations of the startup. The money that comes from designated organizations is a on top bonus, or sometimes it's performance-based investment. There will be some funds required by designated organizations to be secured for the operation of the startup in Canada. So minimum $50,000 per founder or $200,000 per startup company could be a realistic estimate for the cost for stage 5. Now, total estimated cost range is between $120,000 to $400,000 per startup, depending on family size, business complexity, and the designated organizations chosen to help you. You have this estimate in your mind. Of course, this may vary from startup to startup and depending on the complexity of the founder's background and whatnot. Everything should be realistic, but prepare your mind that there are costs associated with Startup Visa program. It's not a investment-free or cost-free program. If somebody tells you that it is investment-free program, then I suspect there's something half true in that statement. Potential risks and challenges of the Startup Visa program. Team dependency risk. All for one and one for all is a concept within Startup Visa program. If one essential person who is applying is refused or found inadmissible, all team members' applications are rejected. So vetting your founders is key at the very beginning. And you need to work with your legal counsel and immigration lawyer to vet each and every founder and his or her family members too. Criminal inadmissibility, medical inadmissibility, and other scrutiny or problem needs to be verified, checked, and resolved. And you, as a group of founders, need to agree before you proceed. Second, business intent scrutiny. Business intent is what IRCC is looking for. IRCC officers may refuse your permanent residence application if they believe you are using the startup visa program just to get the PR. So the concept here is business first, immigration second. The only reason that you're doing the startup shouldn't be the PR. PR is more like a reward for your genuine intention, true business intent to run the startup. Okay? Please watch our next video that is upcoming about artificial transactions in legislation, and we will give you some cases from federal court as guidelines and what not to do in your startup visa program. So artificial transactions are very big problem in the startup visa realities. Third, business failure rate. Of course, it's a startup business, right? 90% of startups fail, potentially resulting in significant financial losses. All your money may not be recouped. This is a startup reality, and you know it better than me. Fourth, policy changes. Government changes its policies from time to time. Program rules can change during your application process, affecting timelines and requirements. It doesn't affect your eligibility, but it affects overall startup visa environment, and it may cause some issues. And lastly, prolonged waiting time if you go with the wrong designated organization. If your designated organization isn't on the priority list, you could wait much longer than the standard processing time to get your permanent residence approved. So try to get onto priority list. Despite the challenges, the program offers significant advantages for entrepreneurs. One, business flexibility. You can do business and operate anywhere in Canada with no minimum presence required. Of course, except Quebec. If you want to operate in Quebec, there's a different program, not the startup visa program. And you don't have to be present in Canada all the time. There are other business immigration programs that require you to spend 75% of your time in Canada within the vicinity of your business and so on. But this gives you business flexibility and you can travel around the world while your business is still running, startup business is running, and you're moving it forward in Canada. Second advantage is PR security. Even if your startup fails, you will retain your PR. It doesn't depend on the success of your startup. It depends on the genuine effort of your startup and the founders, okay? Next, family benefits. As I mentioned, immediate family members are included with access to healthcare, education, and working opportunities in Canada, with open work permit for the spouse and study permit for the children. Fourth, North American market access to scale your business in one of the world's largest economies, Canada and the US. Yes, they are unified. They have some tough love at the moment between each other, but you are very close to the world's largest economy and market. You can get access to this market through Startup Visa program. 5, strong success rate. As mentioned before, for the last 3 years, the approval rates have improved. And in 2024, it was 86% approval for well-prepared applications on the Startup Visa program. Finally, 6, ecosystem support. Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, and Nova Scotia, all the ecosystem around Canada is supportive. So you can access Canada's growing innovation ecosystem and mentorship networks across the country through Startup Visa program. So it is still a great opportunity for entrepreneurs who are genuinely interested in running businesses, startup business in Canada. Now, essential tips for success.
To stay updated on all things related to Canadian business immigration, check us out on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to stay informed about the most recent immigration news, interviews with top immigration specialists, and our weekly live shows. Visit our website at www.sabirovs.com for more information or to book a consultation with our team of experts.
So, time to give you some essential tips to ensure your success in this Startup Visa program. So, there are stages, as I said, and I will divide the tips based on the stages and events that happen during the journey of your startup. Pre-ITA stage, so pre-invitation to apply stage, right? You need to test your business concept with real customers. That's very key, and it will be easier for you to secure support from designated organizations. And gather concrete evidence of market demand for your concept. Document all business development activities and market research from day one. It's a tedious job, but you need to document that to be able to present it to potential designated organizations. And building a strong team with relevant experience and ensuring all members are admissible to Canada. When you gather a group of people under one startup or your founders, be honest with them and discuss all the inadmissibility issues if they are in the background of that person. So managing your team, securing that they are not inadmissible to Canada is a pre-ITA stage activities for your success. When engaging with designated organizations, apply to multiple designated organizations simultaneously to increase your chances of getting the support. Prepare for thorough due diligence process lasting from 2 to 3 months per organization. So be patient. Have your financials ready, business model refined, and market analysis professionally prepared. Hire someone. You may be the founder, but professionals do a better job in preparing your business model, financials, business plan, and so on. Post PR submission. Once you get the support from designated organizations, then you apply for PR. Maintain regular communication with your designated organization. They are limited to support just 10 startups per year. They can monitor 10 startups, and you remind them of your startup and not allow them to forget about you. So maintain good communication with designated organization and team members, regular meetings advised, document all business activities and provide IRCC updates every 6 months. There's a progress report. You provide that before request. Be more proactive and give it to them. Show genuine dedication to building your business in Canada through networking and community involvement. You are in Canada on an open work permit, don't sit idle. Go attend events, push your idea to others and have some feedback from them. Be involved in the community that is relevant to your startup. And finally, regardless of the success or guarantees given by other people, have backup plans all the time. Request a substitute evaluation based on your likelihood of economic establishment if needed. Build a strong professional portfolio in Canada while you are on an open work permit. Get rooted into Canadian society to demonstrate your ability to establish yourself economically. No matter what applications you will be doing in the future, you need to show establishment in Canada. Consider alternative immigration pathways, such as provincial nominee programs or work permits. As I said, startup visa program is good and it's one of your projects. And as you know, you are an innovator and multitasker. Startup founders are all the time, they try to come up with ideas. Have backup plan B, plan C. Talk to your spouse. Maybe you come up with a great strategy for the whole family if this fails. Because in startup visa environment, it's not only you, it's also the team members, right? You may or may not control what they do. So have your own backup plan and be ready for any circumstances. If you want to discuss this program in more detail, please contact us, talk to us. If you're ready to discuss, we are ready to discuss it with you. Sobirovs.com is the webpage that you should be visiting more often. We share a lot of useful content, and our social media channels are also full of good, curated information for you. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to present you in general terms what the startup visa is all about. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments section, and I will get back to you, or my team will get back to you in due course. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Are you constantly on the move, managing your business, and looking for a convenient way to stay informed about expanding your business to Canada? Look no further. Introducing Speaking of Canada, the podcast that keeps you in the loop on all things related to Canadian business immigration, delivering the latest news and valuable tips and captivating interviews, no matter how busy your schedule gets. Speaking of Canada has got you covered.